Hi, I'm Laura Coyle, and in this video we're going to clean up some vector art in Adobe Illustrator and prepare it for handing off to a printer. So I've got this vector art right here, and I just want to show you where it started from. Over here I have a poster that I did for an event in Atlanta, and we have some nice lettering here. I used this flower and one of the houses here, and I just took these pieces from this poster, which is all vector art, strokes and fills like that, and I assembled it into this design here to be printed using screen printing on a koozie. Let me show you that. Here's the koozie, and you can see how it's just printed in one color right there. Okay, so that's the art that I'm trying to prepare here, and I have a green background just so we can see where we have strokes and fills. So a lot of this art is strokes. If we zoom in here, we can see those are uniform strokes. This stem here is actually a multi-layered stroke that I created in the appearance panel. The strokes are, here all around the lettering, and then in the flower we can see around the edge, and here in the inside we have strokes as well. The reason we like to work this way is because we can take something that had really fine strokes on another piece of art and repurpose it for something like this where we just want to bump up the stroke weight to make it work for something else. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and expand this by going up to the object menu and then down to expand ... And here we have fill and stroke checked. That's great. And this is seeming to tell me that there's a gradient in here. That might be just a carryover from the original art, but I'm going to ignore that and just click OK. All right, so now what we have are nicely outlined strokes. So where we had, 2-point or 3-point thickness, now we just have, an outlined shape here. But we also have overlap. So when we're placing, say, the flower in front of one of the letters, there's an overlap and sort of an interior shape there. Same here, where the house is sitting behind the E, that's an overlap too. And so we want to use the Pathfinder to get rid of those and just make this art more simple overall. So, my zooming right there. Let's get that in frame. And then I'm going over to the Pathfinder panel, and I'm going to use merge. So in this case, you could use merge or trim. These, I like to always sort of point these out together because they're similar in a way. Trim, as you can see from just that little icon there, it does get rid of the background shapes or the things where we've got overlaps here. But merge takes it one step further, and it merges, in this case, everything that's black and touching with its neighbor, and then everything that's white and touching with its neighbor. So we have just black shapes and white shapes here. So let's click on that. And we can see that it has gotten a lot simpler. So we don't have those interior lines there where this is overlapping. And we don't have the interior lines here where this is overlapping. But what I'm noticing is that, the letters look amazing. They look perfect. Let's just go here. They're just super clean shapes. But over here, I'm seeing shapes that did not merge. So it looks like, the outline of the heart has two separate shapes here. So what I'm going to do is try expanding again. Sometimes this happens when you're bringing in art from different sources and the way maybe it's grouped or something like that. I'm not sure. Or it may not be touching right there, just that teeny tiny little gap. I'm not sure why, but I'm just going to go ahead and try expanding this again. So with this selected, I'm going to go up to Object, Expand ... And this time, it's interesting what it's got chosen for me. It has just the fills that need to be expanded, it thinks. So I'm just going to click OK. And now let's see what happens. I still have that complexity there, and it looks like I've got extra. So let's go ahead and try merge one more time. Okay, so I've clicked merge, and now if I look at this in outline mode, it's gotten a lot simpler. And let's just double check the art and make sure that it's looking good. and it looks good. So I think this is one of those cases when, you're pulling things from different sources. It might just take another round of expanding and merging to get that right. So now that we have this, and let me make sure, it looks like I have my highlighting off. Let's try that again. Yeah, there's my highlighting. Command or Control H turns that off and on. All right, so we can see this is looking good. Now what I'm going to do is remove the white. If you need to do that for a certain reason, here's how you do it. But generally, this is now really just, black art here, black line art. But let's go ahead and get rid of the interior white. So what I'm going to do is use isolation mode just by double clicking on this, and it's in a group, so that isolates it when you go into isolation mode. And then I'll get my magic wand tool. The shortcut is Y, and this lets you select by color. So I'm going to select all the white by clicking on it here, and then I can just hit the delete key to get rid of it. Now, again, this over here is a little bit of a problem. It's still there. So I'm not sure if it's a different white, a shade of white or something like that we can't exactly see, but I'm going to click on it here and then delete it like that. So now this is all cleaned up. And if you ever need to, you can go into the magic wand tool and double click on it and I like to set the tolerance at 0 so that I'm getting exactly the color that I'm clicking on there. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and exit by tapping on the escape key on my keyboard. And then if in any way this does need to be cleaned up, we can see all of these extra anchor points here. There's various ways to do this. You can use Simplify. You can use, there's a great Astute Graphics tool here called the Smart Remove Brush tool that you can just sort of brush over and get rid of those. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. I'm not going to worry about that right now because I think this is going to be just fine. And then what I want to show you is one more trick. So here is my art, and we've just isolated it down to this one house, and it does have strokes. So part of the reason that I like expanding the strokes in my artwork is because I don't want them to be a different size once they get into somebody else's hands. Here's how easily that can happen. So if I go into preferences here, we have this preference. Usually it's checked and it's scale, strokes, and effects. So if you have it checked and you scale this up or down, the house looks the same. But if you hand this art off to somebody else and they happen to have this unchecked, click OK, and you just start shrinking the art there, those strokes are going to get way thicker than what you normally intended them to be. So this is just a reason that sometimes you may want to expand things in your artwork so that when you hand them off, they're just going to look the same no matter what. If I have this expanded, just expand appearance. Let's go to expand. Got to go through a couple steps with this art here. Click OK, and now we have those expanded fills. I'm going to go ahead and just merge it like I did before. Now it will always look the same no matter what size you have here, no matter how small it is. So that might be a reason that you want to do it, whether it's for screen printing or just for knowing that your art is going to be safely the size that you originally intended it to be. All right. That's my tip for you today. Again, my name is Laura Coyle. I teach Illustrator here on YouTube and in my learning community. And if you'd like to get Illustrator tips from me, just sign up for my email list below the video, at the link below the video. All right. Thank you so much for watching.